Hi, and welcome to lesson number 3 about landing pages. Welcome back, and we're now back at the beta paid WordPress page that we just set up in the previous video. So in this video, we will be going through how to set up a landing page. And if you don't know what a landing page is yet, landing page is a simple website with one purpose. It only do one thing, and that is capturing the visitor's email address and name, contact information basically, in exchange for something of value. Let's say it's a course, email course, access to your blog, a free ebook, or anything like that. A free report, let's say, on how to lose weight, what food to not eat and what food to eat, and so on. You get the deal. And the goal in this video is to actually create one. So I have no plugins installed. We're going to install a plugin called Pop-Up Maker, and we're also going to import a design sheet that I've created from before. So let's take a look at what we will create. So this is a landing page for my ebook about, or a short article or ebook I wrote about different businesses that are profitable on Instagram and how business on Instagram works in general. So you can see that I have a background, we have some heading text, and we have some description text, and we have a big green button. So there are primarily 3 elements in a standard landing page, and you have most likely seen variants of these types of pages before. And you can also do something different by adding, you can splitting it up into 2 things so that you have your header or your heading information, and you can have the subscription form on the right side. And you can also split it up to actually having a showcasing image of the front page of your ebook. And then you can have even more description or information at the bottom. But in this video, we will stick to this layout, but later on, as time passes, more layouts for different landing pages will be added to the resources section below this video. But this video is dedicated to creating this one. So the thing we want to do is that whenever a person clicks the button, or basically anywhere on the screen, we want this pop-up to come. We want the landing page that people come to load really fast, but we also want it to, or we want to remove clutter. We want to remove distractions, and the actual form where people type in their first name and email is something that can be viewed as a distraction. So you want that in a pop-up. Some people say that, oh, pop-up is bad because it reduces your opt-in rate or your subscription rate, and that is partially true, but it also makes you stand out as more professional. So we're going to add a pop-up in this one. So whenever a person adds in their name and email and clicks send me the free ebook, they would receive an email with the actual ebook. And if you were to go through the last module or the last lesson in this module, which is about autoresponders, you will see how an email sequence would look. So we will now actually set up the landing page, but later on you will learn about how to set up the emails at the backend and how you can use them, what tools to use, and so on. So when a person clicks send me the free ebook, they would be added to your email list, and they would start on the pre-written, pre-programmed email sequence with 15 or X amount of emails that you have written from before. So that's the process, but let's get into the work to actually creating this. So the first thing you want to do is get over to your WordPress and go to plugins. And first off, we want to install a plugin called Pop-Up Maker. So we will do that now. Let's search Pop-Up Maker, and it is this one. the thing is, you don't necessarily now have to search for it. You can also download it, because I've added a download link or a button for the download below this video in the resources section, so you can find it there. Or you can go through the search function and add it like this. So we will install it and activate it. So let's give it a couple of seconds. There we go. So now we got the plugin. The next thing we want to do is get the layout, so that you can simply just get the layout and it's done. So we will go to Divi and Divi library. And as I've actually imported it now, but below this video you can find a file called landing page 1 layout, and it should be a zip file which you have to unzip, and you have to take that file you get. It's landing page layout and landing page 1 layout.json, which is the file ending, and you want to go back to WordPress and into layouts and import and export. Then you want to click import and choose the file that you just unzipped and import Divi Builder layouts. And once you've done that, you will be redirected back here and you have to refresh the page and you will see landing page 1. So then we will go over to pages. And once we are at pages, you want to click add new, and we will call this landing page for tutorial examples, but you can call it different things. Let's say that you want to create a landing page for an ebook that you call 15 businesses. You can write 15 businesses in the page name, but we will take landing page. Then check use Divi Builder and load from library. Then you go to add from library and select load on landing page 1. And what it will do, it will add every element that was on this landing page. And as you can see, if you scroll, you have an option or a text at the bottom called where it says privacy policy, and this page is owned by Social Upcoming and its founder Harold Royne. So that's the bottom. But we will not be using this editor, we will be using the visual. But before we go into the visual builder, you have to look at the right side and edit the default template to blank page. You can see it here. Make sure that it is blank page so that we remove every other styling and design on the landing page. So we only have the elements we add manually. Then, once you have done that, we can click use visual builder. And here we go. Ta-da! It's done, basically, or almost. There are a couple of other things we want to do. And the first thing is we want to change the background. So we will be using a website called pexels.com. You can find the link for it below this video at the bottom in the resources section. Then we want to find a new image. And let's see. Let's select. Pexels is actually the tool I use for every image I add to any website, basically. So we will take this one, we'll take that size, download now, and we will be going back to our landing page. Now, if you want to edit the background, you hover over it and you click this one. The gray box is for the module, and since we have a full width header module with the text and a button, we want to edit that one. So click the module settings. Then for making it easier and more structured, we click snap to left. Now we scroll down until we find background image URL. Then we want to click upload and select the photo you just downloaded or the photo that you have somewhere on your PC. or Mac, and click select. And there we go. Now we change the background, but the text doesn't really fit. Let's say that we want to now create a landing page for how to survive in nature, or how to fish. Let's say that. So we will type a new header where we will say learn 10 effective fishing techniques to get more fish. Easy and simple. So you want the headline to have a clear statement, so that when people arrive at your website or landing page, know immediately what the landing page or what the product or offer is about. Then the subheadline or the information text is giving more information about what the visitor will receive about the free ebook. So grab my brand new and limited ebook about how you can become a better fisher, as well as the techniques that ensure a good catch. So now I edited the text. Now I want to edit the button. But to edit the button, we need to get, or we could, let's see. Now we need to go into the module settings again. And if you scroll a bit down, you see button 1 text. And we edited it. So, yes, I want to get more fish. And there we go. Now, well, I think the button is a bit too big. So if you want to edit the size of the button, the font for the button, add another button, you can add another button like that in button 2 text. But since you can see that it is different, so you can add different buttons, but I recommend you to only have one on the landing page, because you want to have only as little as possible. Remove the clutter, remove the distraction, so that people know immediately after 5 seconds what the page is about. So we will go over to design to change the size for the button, and if we were to scroll a bit down, you can see title font size. This is for the title, so if I were to change this size, the text or the title would increase in size or decrease in size. That depends. The same goes for the subhead font size. Increases and decreases. There, however, is one thing you need to be wary of, and that's to optimize the landing page for mobile. And you can do that by changing these settings here, but to find them you need to click the purple dots to get this bottom menu up. So this is a mobile view and this is a desktop view. So you can change the font size for the titles and the buttons by clicking the mobile icon, and you can go from one to another and see how it looks. I'm satisfied with how that one looks, but if we're going back to mobile, the button is way too big. So we want to change the size for the button. And we also wanted to change the size for the button on desktop as well. So then scroll down to button 1 text size. And if you were to decrease the text size down to, let's say, 25, the button got way smaller. And if we were to look at mobile now, it would also be smaller. But hey, I want the button on one, or the text on one line. So then I click the mobile icon, go over to smartphone, and I drag it down until it is on one line. So there we go. And now I'm satisfied. So if we were to click tablet, we can see how that one looks neat. The same goes for mobile desktop. Now I want to change the background color for the button. So I can do that by going to button 1 background color, and I want something orange. orange, red, somewhere like that. There we go. But as you can see, when I hover over it, it changed to green. So you have to change that one as well. And you can do that by scrolling a bit further down and going there. So I want the hover color to be that, or no, a bit more yellow. There we go. So a nice hovering effect. So that's it for the button and text change. We will be going back to desktop. So if I now were to click publish, I could view this page, or this is how it would look. But okay, we have done the background, text and button, but the pop-up, we have the pop-up left, and the pop-up is done differently depending on what autoresponder you have. I use something called Mautic, which is a self-hosted service which is a bit advanced. So I don't recommend you using Mautic. What I actually recommend you to do is, after this video, go take a look at the last one, which is about autoresponders, to get a feeling about how autoresponders work. Because when you have an autoresponder and create a subscribe form, you can get an embed code. And this embed code is what we will be using now. So we will click save, and then we will do one more thing. We will go up to the module settings. We will go to CSS, and we will add something into CSS ID and CSS class. And here you want to create a unique tag for the pop-up, or the pop-up for this page, or this specific landing page. So I'm just going to call it landing page 1 and copy it there. So that's it. Now you're done. So you can click save. Now you want to go back to your dashboard to go into the pop-up maker. So we're going to open a new tab, Beta and VP Admin. So to find the pop-up, you go to the dashboard and it is under projects or above appearance. So if you were to click that one, and you want to add a pop-up theme, so you could click pop-up themes. Let's give it a minute to load. And there we go. Now you want to click add theme. And you want to go over and add a theme for the landing page. So we will call this theme landing page 1. So we want the first thing here, overlay settings, is the background color that will be overlaid over the entire website when the pop-up opens. And as you can see, this one isn't that dark, or it is gray bluish. So we will change it to black. So you change the color to black, and you can change the opacity. So depending on what opacity you want, you can go from 0 to 100. I usually do it at 90%. Then you go back down to container settings and you add the padding to 0. Then you go down to background and select white, because this is the background color for the entire pop-up, and opacity of course at 100%. Then you'll have border and radius, and you don't want to have a border radius. Then you go to drop shadow, and I usually take it down to 0% because I don't like the design for drop shadows, because I think it looked cheap. Then I'll continue down to title settings. And by the way, if you think I go too fast forward, just pause and play how you feel fit during this video. I may be going through it a bit too fast for some people, and you may be one of them. So simply pause and play this video to go by your own pace. So we'll go to font. You will leave it as it is, because all the text that will be added will be added through the embed code. And text shadow will go to 0% in opacity. It will continue down, and close settings, now it is text closed there. We want to remove that, and that's it. Then we will be going down to font and background. And for the background, this is basically the background for the close button. And since we don't want a visible close button, we want to go down to 0%. Then we will scroll down, further down, and I can now tell you that we are done with this theme setup. So we scroll up to the top and we click Publish. And there we go. Now we actually want to add the pop-up with the embed code that you create in your autoresponder service. So then I will click Add a pop-up. I'll call it landing page 1. Pop-up name, landing page 1. We will leave the pop-up title empty because I don't want pop-up title in the pop-up. So then this, you want to edit from visual editor or the visual to text, because as I've mentioned, visual don't support HTML or code, but that text does that. So change to text, and here is where you will add in your embed code. Since I'm using Mautic, it's a more complicated thing, but the basic embed code for my form is this. That's the embed code. Your may look somewhat similar, or you may just have one line of code, which is JavaScript, using JavaScript. But since I'm using raw code with no styling, all of the other codes is for styling and title. That's why I told you that Mautic and the service I use is more complex and more advanced, and you should have more knowledge about coding than what you do with other autoresponder services such as GetResponse and Aweber, which I talk about in the lesson about autoresponders. So I'll copy that one and paste it into the pop-up content, the text content. Then I will scroll down and I will select a trigger. A trigger is what will trigger the pop-up and what will make it show. So I will select a trigger to click open. And here is the tag that we mentioned or wrote in the module settings under CSS, ID and CSS class. So we want to add hashtag landing page 1, because landing page 1 was a tag that we used in the settings. So we want to add the same tag here, but with a hashtag at front. Then we'll click add, and we're almost done. If you see to the right side of the triggers, you will see theme settings. And you want to change the default theme to the landing page theme that we just created. And the theme is done. Now we want to change the size for the pop-up. And if you scroll down, you can see display settings and size. It's automatically set or default set at medium 60%. But we want to change that to auto, because this automatically resizes the pop-up to the screen size. Then we want to scroll further down, and it's actually at the very bottom at close settings. We want, since the pop-up open if you click anywhere on the screen, I want it to give the visitor the opportunity to actually close the pop-up so that they can see the text and what they will get if they accidentally double click when they enter so the pop-up shows. So we will leave the close text without anything in it, and we will check click overlay to close, and we will leave that one checked. You can also, however, check press escape to close and press F4 to close, which gives an extra functionality that you can click escape to close it and you can click F4, but I will leave it without that now. And that's it. Now we've done every setting we need to do in order to show the pop-up. So we will click publish. then we will actually try to take a look at it. So we'll go to Pages and open the landing page. So there we go. This is the landing page live. So if we were to click, a pop-up would appear, and that's the pop-up box with the content that I've created. And if you were to if you were to create a form in either GetResponse or Aweber, you want to add the text. But there's one important thing, and you want to edit the opacity for the background to 0%. Because if you were to edit the background color in the pop-up maker or anywhere else, and you would have a default background on the form, that default background on the form would be added to the landing page, and we don't want that. But we want it to be clean. So if we were now to click on the overlay, it will close. So there we go. That is basically how you create a landing page, or how we created this landing page. Again, the layout file that you have to import to get this layout, you can find it down in the resources section. The same goes for the plugin, the pop-up maker. And you can also find a link to Pexels, which is the website we used to find the background. So depending on what type of website you want, you can actually add this type of landing page to the top of every website you have, and add a scroll down button so that people could scroll down and see the rest of your website. However, I just noticed one thing we have to change. If you were to scroll down, you will still have the privacy policy, and this page is owned by Social Upcoming. So let's get back into the visual editor. And here we go. So if I now were to scroll down, we can do one or two things. We can edit the background for this one and the text, as well as the link for the privacy policy, because there are some rules and regulations when it comes to gathering privacy information about a visitor. So, and by law, you have to have a website that shows what you will do with the information that you attain. So that's what a privacy policy website is about, or a privacy policy page on your website is about. It should be what you will do with the content, how the unsubscription process works, and all of that. But you can basically just search Google, and you will find tutorials on how to create them. You will find privacy policy generators that actually create them for you, and so on. But in this video, to keep it simple, we will just delete the entire thing. So we'll click delete, and that's it, and save. And if we now were to go back to the actual landing page, front end, and try to scroll, it wouldn't work. And the reason why this layout is so nice is because if I were to zoom out, the background would be covering the entire page, and the text would look good anyway. So if I were to zoom even more, I'm actually now at 250%, and you can actually all see everything. We'll still see everything. So that's also really good. It is also optimized for both tablet and smartphone, and that's also really good because more and more people are using smartphones and their mobiles to surf the web. So that's it for the lesson and introduction or video on how to create a landing page. And if you didn't get everything that I did during the video, go back, pause it, play it, go through the lesson in your own pace, and make sure that you get everything right. The reason why I can't stress this enough is because the landing page is the first page people see when you send people through your funnel. So that is really important. And just to mention, a funnel is basically a series of pages that starts with a landing page. A person is sent from a traffic source to your landing page, and the people that subscribes are often redirected to a sales page or a thank you page after they've subscribed. If they were to be redirected to a sales page and bought the actual product on the sales page, they would often be, or sometimes, redirected to an upsell, which is a product that is of higher value, but also to a higher price to the first sales page that they would arrive at. So a funnel is basically the process of, or the list of following websites a visitor would go through and actually land on when they go to your website and actually do what the websites want them to do. So subscribe, buy, or something like that. If you were to refer or send a person or the visitor to a thank you page after they've subscribed, you would often say that check your spam and inbox folder for the ebook that I've sent you. You can also then say, wait, before you leave, check this out, and you can have the sales page or the copy for the sales page and the sales text and video below this thank you page text. So there are many variations of doing this, but you can, for more inspiration and for tips and tricks and all of that, you can search Google and find it elsewhere as well. But this lesson was about the landing page and how you can create this one and every step along the way. So the next video is about sales pages and how you can create a sales page or a page that promotes a paid product. And we will be going more in depth into actually how to set up everything and how to structure the website and what elements you need in order to build a good sales page.